Welcome to A Time for Change. I'm Sibile Marcellus here with Alexis Christoforous. The Tokyo Olympic Games are happening next week, just a year after they were postponed because of the pandemic. Athletes are competing in 33 sports, including fencing, and that's where we begin today.
That's right. Our first guest is a two-time Olympian, soon to be three-time, who will be representing the U.S. in fencing. Daryl Homer won a silver medal in the 2016 Rio Games, the first fencer to do that in 117 years. And in a sport that has a reputation for being white and wealthy, Daryl Homer is neither. Born in the Virgin Islands, who grew up in the Bronx with a single mom who supported his dream to enter the sport of fencing. And we are delighted to have Daryl here with us today. Hi, Daryl. Good to have you here. I know it is the countdown to your third Olympic Games. Tell us what you're feeling right now, especially after having to wait another year to do this because of the pandemic. And what's it going to be like being there with no fans in the stands this time?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me. I am actually in LA. I just finished a session and I'm going back into a session after I'm done this interview. But I mean, we're all very, very excited going into this Olympic Games. It's been a year delayed. It was a tough year, but we are just very happy to kind of be going towards the Games. And, it's going to be a very, very different experience given that no fans and given that the COVID restrictions and we won't be able to move around the city. But we're all very, very excited for this Games and looking forward to trying to achieve on a high level.
Well, Daryl, what are the pandemic safety requirements like in Japan right now? When you're not competing, do you have to still wear a mask? Do you have to social distance? And what about when you're in the arena?
Yeah, so I mean, we are still getting kind of details on that, but we know we won't be able to. Normally, the Olympics is an experience where you kind of explore the city and you enjoy the culture. This is going to be kind of a bubble type situation. COVID testing every day. No fans, obviously. They're asking us to wear our mask in the village as well. So I mean, we're going to figure out a lot on the ground. I'm actually one of the earlier events, so it'll be very interesting to kind of I'll be testing everything as it happens pretty much. But I think the main things we're focused on is just what we can control. And that's just how we can perform and kind of weather through all of these storms.
That's pretty smart and said like a veteran. Concentrate on the things that you can control. Hey, Daryl, I want to talk about when it all started for you. You got an interest in fencing at a young age. You were around 10 or 11 years old. And at the time, there weren't a lot of people who looked like you in the sport. In fact, fast forward to today, and there are a few Black people in fencing at the professional level. Why do you think that is? And what are some of the barriers to entry for people?
Yeah, so I actually want to kind of shine a light on, there are many more Black fencers than people give credit to. I think that's like a stereotype and that's a misunderstanding. The sport historically has been inaccessible, but specifically where I am in New York City, the Peter Westbrook Foundation has done an incredible job. From 2000, really, they've had Olympians on the team, primarily from the Bronx, Brooklyn, Queens, Newark, New Jersey, from the inner city. And Peter Westbrook, that was really his vision. He was the person who won the medal. He won a bronze medal in 1984 in the same discipline I did, men's saber. And it's created a program that's really changed the global complexion of the sport. So all praise due to Peter. But, I actually grew up not seeing many Black fencers. I saw Keith Smart preparing for the 2004 Games. I saw Aki Spencerell preparing for the 2000 Olympic Games, Aaron Smart and Keith Smart winning medals in the 2008 Games. So in a way, we have this fraternity or sorority that really is just a legacy that is being passed down. And, around the world, the program's known and our success is known. And we're just hoping to achieve the same thing going into Tokyo.
Olympic Games can mean big sponsorship dollars. Is that true for fencing, Daryl?
Yeah, I'm blessed. I'm one of the few. I mean, the Olympic Games means big sponsorship dollars for very few athletes. First of all, is really where we should start. But in fencing, I work with Toyota. I work with Ralph Lauren quite deeply. I also work with Lululemon. I've worked with Nike in the past, Dick's Sporting Goods. So I've actually been on the more positive side of the sponsorships, and I'm blessed for that. So shout out to Toyota, obviously, Team USA, and shout out to Ralph Lauren as well. Really excited to kind of make you guys proud in Tokyo.
Those are awesome sponsorship deals, Daryl. And I'm wondering what your plan is in terms of dealing with your finances. I mean, there's enough to deal with there, within your sport and trying to, I know, go for a medal this time around again. But when it comes to your money and to investing the money from these endorsement and sponsorship deals, do you have a philosophy there?
Yeah, I'm lucky I have very, very good family friends who advise me. I'm someone who looks at consistent long-term growth. So, I'm invested in value stocks over time, growth funds. ARK ETF was something I looked at. Obviously, that's taken a little bit of a hitting in the past kind of 6 months, but Barron Funds is always something great for me as well. So I just try to look at things that are valuable over time and that can help me have growth over time. I'm not really a fast, quick, easy guy.
And you obviously like to give back. So tell us about your involvement with the Fencing in the Schools program. How does fencing help kids from impoverished backgrounds?
Yeah, I mean, so right now, I mean, the main nonprofit that I'm partnering with is the Peter Westbrook Foundation. I still represent them as my primary fencing club. And like I said, Peter has done an amazing job of taking kids like me from the Bronx, Brooklyn, Queens, and just empowering us and giving us kind of a strong background in education, in personal character development, and also in the sport. So I'm beyond grateful for all the work that we're doing. I've gone from being a kid in the program, looking up to Olympians, to being the Olympian that kids look up to. So it's a very deep experience. It's a very powerful experience. And I think it's something that I wish more people did and took part in.
Absolutely. Mentorship is such a powerful thing, Daryl. You are looking at your third Olympic Games in less than 2 weeks. What are some of your personal goals for these games? And do you think there might be a fourth Olympic Games in your future?
Yeah, I think one of the only positive thing about this game being delayed a year is that the next game is in 3 years, right? So it gives you a shorter runway into the next one. But as I look to my third game, I just kind of want to take the culmination of all the experience that I had in the first two, and over the last 5 years, really, and the growth I've had as a person, and kind of bring that onto the strip and see how I can perform. Obviously I won a medal at the last games, and that's the goal deep inside of me. But as an athlete, we all know that to perform on a high level, you have to free yourself and allow yourself to kind of not give into the pressure. So right now, it's really, really, really just me going into training, everyday focus, relaxing a lot outside of that, and just gathering my mind, my emotions, my thoughts, and my physical ability in one, and hoping for a great day.
And Daryl, you've written about how there's no other place where you've been able to challenge yourself as much as in sports and in fencing. But what about the workplace? How does it apply there?
So I worked for 3 years when I graduated from college. I started the day after I graduated in advertising at a big agency in New York City called Anomaly. Great time. I think that taught me a lot about preparation. I think as athletes, many times we're used to systems being created for us to succeed. But it was different being in a workplace where you're kind of anonymous and you have to kind of contribute to a team, right? So I thought that experience really taught me the value of teamwork and how to work better with my teammates within fencing. But I think that I think the Olympics as a whole, it really breeds a character in you that can be beneficial in any environment. We're pushing ourselves to the highest level every single day. And the work we do is from our hearts, we're doing this to push ourselves. So I think that's beneficial in every workplace.
For sure. And from what I'm hearing, you're not ruling out participating in the 2024 games, huh, Daryl?
Definitely not. I think the fencing venue will be the Grand Palais. So how can you turn that down?
Awesome. Well, we are excited to see you compete at the highest level, representing the U.S. in just about a week and a half there in Tokyo. Daryl Homer, Olympic fencer, best of luck to you. Thanks so much for making time for us.
No, thank you for having me today, and thank you for the good luck.